Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Cassie from Ground Up Fitness, and I'm going to walk you through a from start to finish upper body workout. We're going to be using weights. If you don't have any weights, feel free to use bottles of water, bottles of wine, fill up empty laundry, detergent bottles, whatever you need to do to add some resistance to the routine. We're going to walk through our warm up, our exercises. I'll have the rest periods there in the video, and then we're going to cool down at the end. So make sure to do everything from start to finish, and let me know if you have any questions. So to warm up our upper body, I'm going to grab the lightest dumbbell I have. This one's 3 pounds. And I am going to make the gesture like I'm one of those cats in the Japanese restaurant waving at you. Japanese, Chinese, not sure which one. You're going to keep your elbow in the same place. And we are going from a 90-degree angle here, rotating, keeping our elbow and our shoulder still, and looking for your range of motion so that when we go to lift weights, we're not going to injure ourselves. I'm going to do 10 on this side and then 10 on the other. If you don't have a full range of motion here and you can get to about here without it feeling ucky in your shoulder, that's fine. With time and warming up and practice and strength, that'll get better. Other side. My elbow and my shoulder staying really still. And looking for that full range of motion all the way down and back. 8, 9, and 10. We're going to switch hands again, and we're going to put our palm towards our hip, crossing our body, and make a gesture like you're opening a Lamborghini door, closed, and then it hinges open. And we're looking to hit about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on the clock here. So stretching my shoulder back and close. 7, 8, 9, and 10. If this hurts using dumbbells, you can also just use your body weight. These dynamic warm-ups are going to prevent injury. They're going to show us where our range of motion is, warm up everything, and protect our joints. That's our main priority here. 9 and 10. And then we're going to grab our dumbbell horizontally. I'll turn sideways so that you can see, and we're going to stretch up and back. We're going to do 10 of those as well. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to go ahead and put my dumbbell down, and I'm going to grab a mat. If you're on your floor, that's fine. You don't need a mat, but I have 2 dogs and many clients that come through here, so keeping my hands clean with the mat. And we are going to do some inchworms to finish our warm-up. We're going to do 10 of them, and an inchworm is where you keep your feet still on the mat. I'm going to bend my knees, feet and hands both flat on the mat. I don't want my heels to come up here, and I'm going to walk out into a plank position, hands and elbows under shoulders, and then just walk back straight, or flat feet, flat hands, and up. That's 1. Bend your knees, flat feet, flat hands, walk out, plank. That's 2. 3, all the way up. Get your breathing involved. Hands and shoulders in one line, bottom of your plank, that's 4. 5, 6, 7. Keeping our hips up, our ribs in like you're going to throw up. Ooh, right there, good. 8, 2 more. This is warming up everything. Shoulders, wrists, elbows, knees, ankles, quads. 1 more. And 10. Good. So we should be all warmed up by now. If you're not, feel free to pause the video and do whatever kind of warm-ups you want to do, but we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so our first exercise is going to be a dumbbell extension, and sometimes I call these Dr. Strange stretch because you'll see, or Dr. Strange lift. We're going to have our feet right underneath of our knees, hips width apart. We're going to have 2 light dumbbells. These are 10s, but feel free to start with 3s, 5s, or 8s if it feels heavy because we want to make sure that the form is there before we push the weight. So I'm going to start with my weights here in front of me, pinkies together, bend my knees slightly, extend all the way up, thumb to thumb, and then close slowly back down. I'll show you from the side. It's important that you're not letting the weights pull you past your shoulder. So what I mean by that is I don't want you opening up, pushing your hips forward and the weights to come past your shoulders. We want all of this to happen in front of us, drawing a circle. This is the Doctor Strange move, like when he opens those portals or whatever. Pinky to pinky, thumb to thumb, and then close. Everything happening on this front plane. So we'll start over again from now, since you see me do it. Feet right under your knees, pinky to pinky. Keep your abs in, your ribs in like you're about to throw up. Draw a circle in front of you, thumb to thumb, and close. That's one. You should feel this through your shoulders, biceps, chest, abs if you're bracing correctly. And I'm keeping my elbows slightly bent. You don't want to fully extend. 5, 6, show you from the side. 7, 8, keeping my breath braced as I lift up, breathe in, lift up, and then exhale on the way down. 9, one more. 10, and close. We are going to take a minute and a half break. All right, we're going to go in for our second set. We're going to be doing 4 sets of these in total. If you don't need your whole rest period, if you're ready to go after like 30 seconds, that's a really good sign that you could do it heavier. If you go to do a heavier weight and you can't do the full rep range, have the lighter weights there with you so that you can finish with the lighter ones, and that's called a drop set. That's totally valid and a way to progressively overload your lifts. So feet, hips width apart, pinky to pinky, Doctor Strange, portal open, portal closed. I'm such a nerd, but it's how I remember this one. Dumbbell extension, I believe, is the technical term. 3, we're going to do between 8 and 10 reps, depending on what feels challenging for you. 4, turn to the side again so that you can see that the weights are tracing a line in front of me. I'm not letting the weights pull me backwards. 6, thumb to thumb, pinky to pinky. 7, 8, you can see how I'm keeping my knees soft and my hips neutral so that I'm not pushing through my low back. And that's 10. We're going to take another rest period and then do that again. Alrighty, set number 3. You also may be wondering why we take so much rest in between. 1.5 minutes is an adequate amount of time for the glycogen in your cells to replenish. Glycogen is what we use for energy, and as you go through the lifts, your body is looking for all the energy it has. That's why we get close to failure. And for your body to adequately recover and replenish everything we need to take advantage and have an effective set takes time. So at least 1.5 minutes when we're lifting weights. I believe this is 6. I don't know. I'm talking. Let's call it 6. This will be 7. Should be getting heavy by now. Breathe in, brace. 8, and exhale. 2 more. 9. 1 more. 10. Ay, ay, ay. All right, we're going to do 1 more set of these, and then we're going to move on to our next exercise. Feet hips width apart at the risk of sounding repetitive. Ribs in, pinky to pinky, forward slight bend. Doctor Strange. Controlled. In any move that we're doing with weights, we're looking to control every single second of it. We don't want to let gravity help us on the way down. We want to take advantage of that eccentric part of the repetition, the part where we're returning back to the starting point. And we always want to stop and pause and then finish the move. You don't really want to bounce in and out of your moves. You don't want to let your joints take the brunt of it. Abs tight. 7-ish. 8, 2 more. I can feel my shoulders and my biceps. 9. All right, my breathing's loud, but it's on purpose. All right, so that's that. We're going to move on to our next exercise. Alrighty, so for our next exercise, we're going to do push-ups. I know that we do a lot of push-ups, but I feel like it's something that is a staple of moving on in other calisthenic moves. And most people do push-ups wrong, something we could always use practice in. So I'm going to start the first set from my knees so that people who are at that level can see what's up. If you want to do it from your feet, please feel free. All of the same tips are applicable, but I'm going to show it from my knees. I'm going to turn my mat a little bit so that you can see what's up. So to measure my spacing, I start down at the floor because most people don't have their hands in the right position to start with. So we want our hands a little bit wider than your armpits and chest height, right? Not going to be up here and close by your armpits and pretty wide. So my hands are kind of half on, half off of the mat. So from here, I'm going to cross my knees, cross my feet. My knees are going to stay on the floor. My elbows are pointing backwards at like a 45-degree angle. I'm not coming out here at all. We want this position, and I'm going to squeeze my abs, squeeze my butt, and push up. Control down. My elbows go to the back corners of the room and push up. I'm keeping my head up in line with the rest of my spine. If you drop your head, it's just cheating. It makes you look like you're getting deeper in your push-up, but you're really not. So I'm tapping and pushing. Again, I'm not really using a whole lot of force on the way down and using the force on the way up. The floor, ribs in, butt squeezed, and push. So we're going to do 10 of these. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start. Elbows back and push. Another thing we want to avoid is shrugging. You want to keep your traps down. Elbows to the back corners of the room, tap your chest, and push. We should feel this in our triceps and in our chest. Stretch in the chest, squeeze of the chest. Elongation of the triceps, squeeze of the triceps. 3 more. 1 more. Elbows to armpits, ribs in, and push. So that's our first set of push-ups. Feel free to do your push-ups from your level. If you don't have them from your knees yet, you can come up onto a wall and do them this way until you get the strength. Or also on a bench, put your hands on the bench and do your push-ups that way. Those are all different regressions, but we're going to rest and then do another set. We're going to do 4 sets of 6 to 10 reps. Alrighty, for our next set, I'm going to do it from my feet, just so people can see what it looks like from a full push-up. Like I said, feel free to start your set at whatever's the most challenging to you, and then regress it as you need to so that you're able to finish the set. Hands in my armpits, and push. 2, 3. This inward rotation of my elbows is valuable. You don't want to rotate outwards. Rotate your elbows inwards so that your elbows go diagonally back and not straight out to the side of the room. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your ribs in. 7, 8, 2 more. So I'm going to regress it down to my knees to get nice technique. We don't want to be stubborn. We don't want to lift with our ego. You want to do what you can with your technique solid. Okay, we're going to rest a minute and a half, and we're going to do set 3, and we have 4 sets of these in total. I think I'm going to show you this version off of a bench so that everybody can kind of see to their level. And like I said, if you're able to start at one level that's more difficult, like on your knees, and then you get tired and you can't complete the whole set, move to the bench. Or if you can do 3 full push-ups and then after that your technique sucks, go to your knees and then regress like that. And over time you'll get better. You'll get more reps of the harder version. So my hands are over the bench. Chest taps, again, my hands are in my armpits, elbows diagonally back, 2, 3, 4, head straight in line with the rest of my spine, 5, big stretch of the chest, big stretch of the triceps, and contraction of both of those muscles. 8, 9, one more, squeeze, 10, good. I think that was 3 sets. We've got one more. You should be feeling your chest. You should be feeling your triceps by now. And we're going anywhere from 6 reps to 10 reps, depending on where your level is. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting to get tired. 5. I'm going to go down to my knees because I'm being a little brat. 6. But like I said, we want to lift with our muscles, not with our ego. Good form over everything. 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, we're done with our push-ups. We're gonna move on. All right, our next exercise, our third exercise that we're going to do is incline dumbbell bilateral chest presses. So the incline bench is only set up one click higher than flat. Any higher than that, we're going to be using more shoulders than we want to. And the point of this incline bench is so that we hit our pecs a little bit higher up than we did in our push-ups. Start light. I'm using 20 pounds, but feel free to use, like I said, 5, 8, 10, whatever you need to feel comfortable with the technique. Once you have the technique and you're able to do the full rep range comfortably without being challenged a whole lot, then go up and weight. So we're going to do 4 sets of between 8 and 10 reps, depending on what's challenging for you. I start with the weights on my knees here, and I use my knees to bring the weights up to my shoulders. I'm going to lean back and open up. Like we did on our push-up, the weights are in our armpits. I'm not out like this with my elbows to the side of the room. Got my elbows tucked into my torso about 45 degrees, not all the way, but about 45 degrees from the bench. And I'm going to press both up at the same time over my chest. I don't want to be over my face. I'm over my chest here. My wrists are straight. Bend your elbows. Big stretch. Big, big, big elongation of your pecs. And then push. Slow and control. Pull the weights into your armpits and push. I'm using my feet. I'm using my tailbone, and I'm also using my shoulders to push into the bench, squeezing my abs quite a bit so that I'm not wiggling all over the place. Slow and controlled, and push. Slow and controlled, push. 2 more. 1 more. If you don't have an incline bench, you can do this on the floor. You won't be at that incline and able to hit different parts in your pecs, but it's still a chest press and it's better than nothing. So if you don't have this set up, feel free to be on the floor. You're going to be laying flat on the floor. Your elbows will hit the floor, and then you'll do your presses from there. Bilateral means we're hitting both sides at the same time. If we were doing this alternating, obviously we would call that alternating. And then some moves are unilateral, where you do one at a time. We're not going to do that here. This is a bilateral dumbbell incline chest press. Let's rest a little bit, and then we'll do another set. Push all the way back into the chair, weights on my knees, little help, up, little help, and back. Push my feet into the floor. Got a pretty nice arch in my low back. And push. I'm keeping my wrists strong. I don't want to let the weight roll back like that. You want to have it up, straight up. 3, 4. Remember, hands to your armpits, elbows tucked into your torso slightly. 5, when you're at this full extension, your elbows are locked out and your weights kind of make an A-frame. 6, 7, 8, 2 more. If 8's all you got, that's fine. 9, 10. Weights to your chest, knees up, and safely on the way down. You never, 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 ever, ever want to put your weights down like that because you can rip something in your shoulder. That was our second set. A little bit of a rest, and we'll go for our third. Weights into my armpits. Big elongation of my chest here. And I don't remember if I misspoke at the beginning. This move focuses on the top of your pecs, whereas our push-ups or flat bench chest presses will focus on the mid part of your pecs. If you were wondering why or what was the difference between incline and flat bench chest presses. 6. Push into the floor so that I don't wibble wobble all over the place. 7, 8, chin tucked into my chest. 9, big stretch and extend at the top. 10, knees down. And that's that. Okay, so our next move is going to be for shoulders. This is called an Arnold press. There's lots of different ways I've seen people do this, so don't come at me if I do this differently than you have seen it before. We're going to start with our weights here on our knees, and just like we did for our chest press, you're going to get a little help to bring the weights up to chest height. I'm going to lean back into the bench so that my shoulders are really supported. I want my points of support to be feet, butt, and shoulders, right? So as I lift up the weights, I'm going to rotate my wrists up until I'm at a full shoulder press over my head, and then rotate gradually back down until the dumbbells are in a bar position, right? Like straight across. Screw the weights up and screw them down. What I don't want to happen is that you open and then push. What happens is you stay in a straight line, rotating up, rotating back down to chest. I'm using 20 pounds. That might be a lot for some of you. Like I said before, start with what you feel comfortable until the technique feels really good, and then feel free to go up once you can complete the entire rep range without having to stop or going down. And then at that point, you can try more weights. Form always over weights. So we're going to do 3 sets of between 8 and 10 reps of these. I prefer that we do something heavier for 8 reps than for you to be coasting through a lighter set of 10. So make it challenging as long as the technique is there. So here we go. Lean back into the bench, pinky to pinky. Screw my weights straight up over my head. Lock out. Back down gradually. 1, 2, 3. Abs really strong. 4. Pushing back into the bench. 5. I think I'm only going to have 8 here because this is pretty heavy. 6. 7. 1 more for me. If you have 10, go for it. And 8. Rotate down. Weights down to your knees and then down to the floor safely. Sorry if my shirt was making hella noise. We're going to go ahead and rest a minute and a half. Set 2 of our Arnold presses. Help, little help. Lean back, set up my bar, or set up my dumbbells like it is a bar. Thumb to thumb, pinky to pinky. I'm gonna move this microphone because I feel like you guys are just getting a bunch of noise from my t-shirt. You're screwing the weights up into the ceiling. 6, and unscrewing them back down. Wrists strong. 7, 8, push your shoulders back into the bench, feet into the floor. I'm gonna go for 1 more. 9, I got 1 more in me. I got the 10. 2. We're going to do one more of these, and then we're going to do our last exercise, which is going to be for triceps. We're going to do our final set of Arnold presses. So this one was 3 sets of between 8 and 10 reps. Lean back into the bench, pinky to pinky, and up 1. Shoulders pushed into the bench, feet giving me support, my shoulder blades pushed into the bench, booty pushing down. 4. Big stretch of the delts. Squeeze of the delts. Your deltoids are your shoulders. 7. 8. I think I got those 2 more. 9. 1 more. Big push. 10. All right. So that was our 3 sets of Arnold presses. Now we're going to need a lighter set of dumbbells for our tricep extensions, and then we're going to be done. We're going to need a flat bench or a flat floor, depending on what equipment you have, and 2 relatively light dumbbells. I think I'm going to use 10s, but feel free to use what you feel comfortable with. And I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so our last lift is going to be, I called them tricep extensions earlier, but we're going to call them skull crushers, and you're going to see why in a second. It is an extension, but a tricep extension can be many things, and that's not what we're talking about here. So, lots of words. Knees back. Bring the weights with you. You can either leave your feet here on the bench, or you could put them on the floor. I'm short, so here feels a little bit more comfortable for me. I'm going to extend both arms up and then let my weights wiggle down so that the back of my hand is pushing up against the butt of the the dumbbell. Here with my elbows, I am shaking from other workouts. My elbows over my shoulders. I'm going to bring the weights back, keeping my elbows stable. And that's why this is called a skull crusher, because the weights come really close to your head, down by your ears. Full stretch of your tricep here. I'm touching my shoulders, and then straight up squeeze of the tricep. Go ahead and do it with me. If you're on the floor, obviously you're going to be laid flat on the floor, and it's the same exact exercise. Big squeeze of the triceps here. My triceps elongate and push. What you want to avoid is letting your elbows travel back with you. You want to keep them real stable and squeeze. I'm going to do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, keeping my elbows in, not letting them splay open. Good. So that was our tricep skull crusher. Elongating the tricep, squeeze. Elongating the tricep, and squeeze. We're going to do 2 more sets of these, and then we'll be done. Let's get our 1.5-minute rest, and then we'll do our next set. We're going to do this one a little closer up just so you can see what's happening. All the exercises that we've done today have been pushing. So your pushing muscles are chest, tricep, and shoulders, and that's what we focused on today. Our next upper body workout is going to be just back and biceps, and those are your pulling muscles. So this routine is a push routine or a chest, shoulder, and tricep routine, however you want to remember it. But it's good to know that those 3 muscles that we're working are in charge of pushing, push, and then the back and biceps are our pulling muscles. Again, having my hand set up on the dumbbell so that my pinkies are pushed up against the back of this dumbbell makes it more ergonomic so that I'm not twisting at my wrist at all at this moment. Like I don't want to do this, right? So having my pinkies up against the back of the dumbbell is helpful. 5. Big stretch. 6. Elbows still. 7. This is starting to get heavy. Shoosh. 8. 9. One more. Oh my God, my left side is way less strong. Push. Ugh. Jeez Louise. All right, one more of those and we're done. All right, last set. So today we did push-ups. We did Dr. Strange dumbbell extensions. We did incline chest presses. We did Arnold presses. And this is our tricep skull crusher. All of these exercises today we're pushing. And stay tuned for our next upper body workout, which will be pull, back and bicep. So arms all the way straight. Pinkies pushed up against the butt of the dumbbell. You want to touch the butt. Squeeze 2. Slow and controlled. Squeeze 3. Elbows really still. That's the most important part. 5. 6. 7. 8. Oh my God. I've got 2 more. I just need a second. Dude, my arms are so shaky. 9. 1 more. Oh my gosh, those last 2 reps were garbage, but it's okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to put my weights away. I'm going to grab my mat and we're going to cool down. So if you want to cool down on your own, feel free to pause the video and come back to it when you want to hit this muscle group again, or stretch out with me. Okay, so we talked about how in the beginning of our workouts we do mobility. That mobility is to warm up your range of motion for the workout. But now that we're done, we're going to stretch the muscles and try to work out any tension that we've accumulated. You don't really want to stretch a whole lot before your routine. You do want to warm up and be dynamic about your movements, but stretching too much before you work out can cause your muscles to stretch too far, and then they're not holding your bones in a safe and stable way, right? They get too mushy. So that's kind of dramatic, but that's why we do the dynamic movements at the beginning and the static stretches at the end. Now that we've worked our muscles, we don't need that stability quite as much, and we're, winding down. I want to repeat those again. Hand up, pull your elbow towards your center line, and then push your head back into your elbow. You should feel that through your back, underneath your armpit, open your shoulders and your triceps. Switch sides. And push your head back. You want to hold each stretch for 10 seconds so that your body has a chance to actually release into the stretch. For the first maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds, your nervous system tightens up when it feels the stretch and it fights it. So you want to hold your stretch longer than that. I'm going to find a post or a door frame or anything that you can support your hand on, thumb facing up, and I'm going to turn my whole body away from the post so that the stretch is happening from my elbow all the way up into my pec. I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. This stretch is a really good one for shoulders, chest, and back, depending on how high you have your hand on the post. The higher up on the post, the higher the stretch is, and then the lower on the post, the lower the stretch is. So feel free to play around with that. But because of all the chest and shoulder stuff we did, I'm kind of staying here in the middle line. I'm going to switch, thumb facing up, turn my body away, and we're going to hold this for 10 seconds. You don't want to hit the same muscle group 2 times in a row. So since today we did our push muscles, tomorrow or the next time you do a workout, look for something to do with legs. And then after that, back and biceps. And then after that, you can hit legs again so that you don't end up hitting the same muscle group twice. And you want to make sure you give your muscles time enough to recover. So I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back, feet about hips width apart. I'm going to bend my knees slightly. I'm going to push my hands back as if I want to touch the floor behind my head. I know that's not going to happen, but that's the goal. Big stretch. If you have the flexibility to be straight legs here, you can incorporate your hamstrings a little bit, but if not, you can bend your knees a little bit. I'll bend my knees so that you don't feel bad. And the more you can keep your hands together, the better. Some people won't have the shoulder mobility for that, but that's okay. And I'll let go of my hands slowly, bring them down, and then I'm going to straighten my legs and come up little bit by little bit, your head and your neck last. And we're going to do some circles with our head. I don't know if you heard that pop, but give it about 5 or 6 circles in one direction, And then 5 or 6 circles in the other direction. Oh, if you find a sticky spot, like this one for me, hang out there, hold it, feel the stretch, and then continue the circles. Oh, yeah. I'm popping all over the place. I wonder if the mic is going to pick that up. All right. Chest, shoulders, triceps. Oh, this one. So if you don't have this, you can grab onto something like a band or a belt, I don't know, a t-shirt, anything, a towel, and you can use that to connect where you don't have the stretch. I am stretching my left side, the one that's back. This is the side that's stretching through this. And then if you want to feel the tricep, pull the band down and then you'll feel the tricep on your other hand. So that when you go to switch, this hand will go on top. This one will come underneath. Grab, and then pull apart. So you'll feel it in your triceps and in your shoulders. 10 full seconds. All right, I think we are done for today. Thank you so much for following the routine. If you have any questions, please let me know. Subscribe to my channel, put a little comment, whatever feels good, share with your homies, and I look forward to working out with you next time.